and today we are talking about dot plots. A dot plot displays each individual data value as a dot above a number line. Super simple. Here we have an example data set. Suppose we survey 15 students and record the number of hours they studied for a recent exam. So here we have the numbers each student recorded on an exam. We have 15 students studying for all of these hours. Notice how all of the hours here are listed in ascending order. When you are given in data like this, it will not always be listed in ascending order. It is in your interest to rewrite it in ascending order. It'll make working with these values much easier. Step one, draw a horizontal number line. Here I have a number line drawn here. Step two, label the number line from the smallest value to the largest value. In our data set, the smallest value is 2 and the largest value is 12. So we're going to have our number line increase from 2 to 12. Step 3. Place a dot above each value for every time that value occurs. So we see here is the number of hours each student studied. 2 hours, we put one dot above 2 because there's 1, 2. 3 hours, we put one dot above 3 because there's 1, 3. We have 2 4s here, so we get 2 dots for 4. 3 5s, 3 dots for 5, etc. 2 for 6, 1 for 7, 2 for 8, 1 for 9, 1 for 10. Nobody studied 11 hours, so we leave that one blank. And we have 1 for 12. And this is how we graph our dot plot. Super simple. How do we interpret the dot plot? So there's some vocabulary words we need to understand. The center is where the data tends to cluster, and a cluster is a group of values that occur close together. We can calculate this with I'm going to write it out here, with the mean and median, which we will get to. The spread is how far apart the data values are. We can calculate this with the range, which we will also get to. Gaps are an interval where no observations occur, where nothing happens, and the outlier is a value that appears unusually far from the rest of the data. Let's erase this. Let's erase it again. All right. So let's look at our dot plot to take a look at some of these vocab words. The center. Again, we're going to find the center with the mean and median. I'm probably going to go into greater detail on mean and median in a later video. But for now, what we need to know for the mean is the sum of all values divided by the number of values. And the median is the middlemost value, which if we write our values in ascending order, finding the middlemost value will be easy. So the mean, again, it's the sum of all values divided by the total number. So these are all the values we are given. We have them all added up here in the numerator. And then our denominator, we're dividing by 15 because there's 15 in total. Now you can see here, I color-coded some of the values. This is just a little trick I like to do for multiplication. I think it makes it a lot easier. But we have 2 4s, so we could say 2 times 4 instead of the 4 plus 4. 3 5s, 3 times 5, 2 6s, 2 times 6, and 2 8s, 2 times 8. I personally prefer to write multiplication out with parentheses as opposed to say 2x4 or 2.4. To me, this is the best notation because it clearly reads as 2 groups of 4. And when you write it out like this, your order of operations, it's a little less clean. You're more likely to make mistakes. With this, it's very obvious this operation must be performed first. Let's get rid of this. So we clean this up a little bit. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 5 is 15, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 8 is 16. Add up all these values. I already did this with a calculator. We get 94. 94 divided by 15 is roughly 6.27. Sorry. It's 6.26 repeated. We could just round that to 6.27 for all intents and purposes. So our median is roughly 6.27. Now the median, again, I said is the middlemost number. You could see here, I have all of our hours study listed out in ascending order. One little thing I like to do, especially when I'm just starting out, when I'm finding my median is I'll list all the numbers and I will cross off from the outside values and work my way in. So you see I have 1 crossed on the outside, 2 crossed from the outside, 3 crossed from the outside, 4 from the outside, 5 crossed from the outside, 6 crossed from the outside, 7 crossed from the outside, and we have 1 number left in the middle, 6. So 6 is our middlemost number, 6 is the median. In later examples, you'll see sometimes you have 2 numbers in the middle if you have an even number of data values. I'll show you what we do when that happens. It would be pretty much add them and divide it by 2, but we will see that example in a later video. For now, what we need to know is our mean is 6.27, the median is 6, so the center is about 6. Okay, the spread. So the spread, again, we have that defined as how far apart the data values are, and we can find that with the range. The range is our maximum value minus our minimum value. So our maximum value is 12, our minimum value is 2. So we can easily calculate the range, maximum minus minimum, 12 minus 2, 10. The spread of our data is 10. Clusters, a group of values that occur close together. This we can find by looking at our data values. So here I just have our dot plot drawn out again. And here I highlight where the cluster seems to occur. And it seems to occur right here between 4 and 8. And we could see that because we have 2 at 4, 2 at 8, and then a lot going on in the middle. Yeah, there's 1 at 7, but the 5 and the 6 here are pretty high in values. And the 4 and 8 almost make a little wall here with how we have 2 there, and a lot of stuff going on the inside. So we could say there are 10 observations over the interval of 4 to 8, and we have 10 here because if we count these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 observations over 4 to 8, that is our cluster. Gaps, an interval with no observation. We have nothing going on here at 11. No observations occur at 11. Our gap is at 11. Outlier, a value that appears unusually far from the rest of the data. Now, visually, looking at our dot plot, 12 appears to be an outlier because it's separated from most of the data. Because of our gap here at 11, 12 appears to be an outlier. However, we're going to go into more detail in outliers in a later video. We won't learn how to determine formal outliers until we study box plots and the IQR rule. Box plots will be covered in a later video. There is a formal equation to determine outliers with the IQR rule. Looking at this may appear to be an outlier, but when we do the IQR rule, which again will be covered in a later video, we will see that 12 is actually not an outlier. And that's everything I have for dot plots. Super simple, easy topic. All of this here on my iPad, this will be shared with you on YouTube. And that's everything for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all next time.